Right. Is anyone else having a case of the Mondays? Happy Monday. Happy late Monday. I'm getting a little late start this AM. Actually, technically PM. Um, mm, yeah. Happy Monday. Episode of the Men of the House podcast with your favorite Irish Mexican in full bloom with the Waffle House sweatshirt this morning because it's kind of chilly. Yeah, it's supposed to be coming into summer. It is April 20th. Yet, why am I still wearing a hoodie? What's going on? What's going on? We're going to force quit this. Having started off having computer problems. So, yeah, my day has not started ideally. Let's just say that. So, I hope yours has. But today we're going to talk about the power of no, and maybe how no is a complete sentence. I'm going to tell you a little story to go with it. We're going to we're going to explore the weekend with the power of no. All right. So, let's start off. This weekend was a big weekend. We had a baby shower. Yeah. So, my wife is officially on the way to becoming a GG, and I will be a grandparent. Our middle daughter is set to have a baby boy in less than a month. So, we had a big weekend. Lots of families coming together, lots of people, big ordeal. Um, my wife is super into uh, festivities, I guess you could say. Um, that is her love language, giving, making people feel good, um, making people feel special. So it was a weekend of, it was a lot of work. My wife went down a day early to start prepping, and then my daughter and I left a little bit afterwards. We left a day later. Kind of my thought process was, well, we'll be out of the way while she's setting up. Thought she was going to have more help setting up, but she had less help than she anticipated. So when we got there, it was all hands on deck. Yeah, setting up. And we always have this running joke. It seems like all the parties we go to, I think I've said in the past, my wife and I, we're we're early. Usually, we like to get places early. We don't like to be late. Especially me, like starting off, I was always punctual because my mom is very punctual. But in the military, punctuality is everything. You show up early, that's on time. You show up on time, that's really kind of late. You show up late, your ass is in trouble. So I don't take, punctuality to me is says a lot about a person. Says a lot about my respect for you, depending on how punctual you are. There's a certain someone, if you're listening to this, you might be all that and everything, minus your punctuality. That is your one super flaw. So we didn't get started till late because we were setting up and she didn't have the help, but everybody was kind of running late, so I guess it made it okay. We got a late start, which meant a late ending, and it's just it's a lot. Like, my wife wants it to be perfect, and I have to tell her at some point, like, hey, man, like you can only set up so much, just like you can only at some point with yourself, you have to call it like, hey, I can only make so many adjustments to my outfit, make it so perfect. And at some point, you need to get out there and, uh, if you're the host, you need to be hosting. But, the point of the event is to be present with the people and spend time with the people, interact with the people. And, so it's like once my wife's finished setting up, I have to tell her, like, hey, like, get ready. But, you know, to kind of keep her in line in a way. Like, now go be present with the people, because my wife will get distracted and worrying about is everybody okay? Does anybody need anything? And, that's, I can kind of play that role. I kind of, like, I didn't eat when everybody else was eating. I kind of act more as a sentry patrol, just walking around, looking at little things, making sure where's the trash, does it need to go out, is everybody okay, or is anything out of place, is the proper door shut because there's a cat in there with an air tag that could get lost, there's Tootie the dog who could get lost or, want to go out. Um, so, like, for me, when we have these kinds of events, I'm kind of like an app that's running in the background, shield bumping for my wife so my wife can entertain, be present, um, interact, all those kinds of things. So, you know, I don't necessarily go there to enjoy it. Um, I don't anticipate, like, for me, that's not my purpose, I guess. I see it more as I show up like almost like a project manager. Look, what are the big things? And then just offer my wife my assistance, like toting, carrying, lifting, what needs to go where, what needs to happen. And then kind of being the bumpers for her in terms of, okay, this is enough, this is enough. All right, we got to get this thing going. Because there's some people, eh, especially as it relates to podcasting, people wanting to start a podcast, they'll want everything like super perfect before it gets started. And if you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never start. And so she gets that way. But we had the baby shower, and then this is kind of the part where we get into saying no. So, um, this happened to be the same weekend as the Montgomery County Cookoff, the fair rodeo, and this was kind of what my wife and I consider our first date in a way. Um, we went there with our friend Remy and this girl Brandy, and went to Denny's afterwards. But I would say that was kind of the first night where maybe we were like starting a thing. And so this fair, thing is happening the same day as the baby shower, and the baby shower is like 1 to 5, and everybody's going to go to the fair afterwards. But we're debating because it's raining. It's been raining. There's a forecast to rain. It rained earlier in the day, took a break, and then stopped. And so, because we were going to have the baby shower kind of outside, then we had to move into the garage because it was a big garage, plenty of room. But there was this whole back and forth with that. And then it was like, hey, well, you know, my sister in law, her parents had a booth at the Montgomery County Cookoff. And then um, some friends of the family on uh, our daughter's side, they had a booth. And you know what that means is like, I guess they compete like in barbecue, but then you'll have like your booth, which might have like a tent with some tables. Some are covered. Some people have porta potties in theirs, like a DJ. I mean, almost like a little private little tent nightclub. But there are these booths all around, and some people got live music, and I mean, it's a whole thing. And it wasn't bad, but let's start off. I personally did not want to go. Our plan was we're going to do the baby shower. Now, the kids wanted to go because they wanted to ride some rides, which is understandable. Um, but we were going to have like my brother and sister in law take the kids and they could go visit her parents at the booth and whatnot. And then my wife and I would stay back. My brother in law's where we had the baby shower and get everything cleaned up. And then maybe her and I could just have a moment together without all the noise and distraction because, you have to remember like this day started for her weeks ago. We've been planning for this, taking stuff down as they got their own place, taking loads of stuff, um, diapers, leaving it. And that's why we ended up, you know, with a second load and her going down early. And it's a lot of stress for her because she wants to make it perfect and she wants it to be memorable. Understandably so. And so I thought it would be I'll help you clean and then we can chill out. They'll be at the fair and maybe her and I could watch some TV, have a moment together. But, you know, my wife doesn't do very good with peer pressure. And it was like, well, you should go. Like, you've been doing all this work. You deserve to go. Like, let's take a load off. Oh. Which meant, okay, we're not going to stop and clean. We're going to do this. And there was this whole thought of like, well, everybody will chip in cleaning tomorrow. We got all day. Yeah. All right. So remember, we've brought down carloads of stuff. So my wife and I are going to take the vehicle I'm in, which is packed to the gills with stuff, to drop off to our middle daughter the next day at her apartment. And we're going to take all the gifts from the baby shower over there as well. Um, one group of people ride with my brother-in-law. They have a Grand Cherokee, so there was like 6 or 8 of them in there. And then me and my wife take the car that I'm in. And, they direct us to parking. And we're going to get out and go. And it starts to pour, so we hop back in the car real quick. But because it's starting to pour, it's later in the day, people are constantly going. My wife's like, well, let's try to move closer, get up closer parking spots. And you're like in this field, like a concert venue or fairgrounds. And so we're weaving through, trying to get through. And then we come to this road. it's like a road that divides these fields. And I just know my wife's like gonna tell me like I found a place that was good enough and I was gonna park. It was like right by the road. So when we left, I could just hop on the road and be there. Because my thought process is always I would rather park closer to the exit. So when it's time to leave, you're closer to the exit. You're gonna walk either way. You're gonna wait either way. But the way to prevent more or less is park further away so you're closer when it's time to leave. But I can hear her in my head going, she's going to tell me to get closer. She's not going to be satisfied with this. And that's that whole like, at what point do you keep going? Do you apply more makeup? At what point do you stop and say, no, like, this is enough? Like, the place is ready enough. I'm ready enough. It's ready enough. This is good enough. Or is it like, we need one closer spot because I'm afraid to walk? Well, I go to cross this road and it looks like you're going to cross right into the field and there's a ditch and it's raining. I'm unable to see. And into the ditch we go. And unpleasant. My wife hit her head on the dash. I'm surprised the airbags didn't deploy. And I thought we were going to be stuck and have to be towed out. But thankfully, the car had enough power to back out. And it tore a little piece of the plastic off and knocked off this little thing by the headlight. One little square piece, but nothing major. So this is the first, like, you know, clusterfuck of the situation. Now I'm irritated and it's like I don't even want to go. But then we finally decide to make a go for it. Like our middle daughter met us there. She had already parked. She's already in. We're like, fuck it. It's raining. We didn't have any umbrellas because this wasn't my vehicle. I keep all my shit in my vehicle and it's on me. I should have packed it. But I had a raincoat. My wife's wearing a hoodie. We make it to the booths where we're going. And then have to go to the other booths. And, this place is like a fucking maze. And even with the map, it's difficult. It's dark. It's rainy. It's wet. It's muddy. It's cold. Um, and you get in a booth. One was warm and completely closed in. Then we go visit the other one. It's open and kind of cold and wet. Find a break in the rain. The kids want to ride the rides. They're able to ride some. Some were too wet, you know. Um, even though it wasn't raining, you go up in the fairgrounds like it's too mojado. It's too wet in Spanish. So, you know, by the end of it, I can remember where one party's getting ready to go. Some people don't want to leave, and we're trying to like collect people between two booths, and we're with the kids riding, and the rides are kind of over, and we're just walking in the cold, wet, miserable rain. We're soaked. My socks are soaked. Feet are wet. Once your feet are wet and cold, it's over. Our feet are muddy. Like my wife had solid white shoes. And, you know, I mean, when we get back, we had to take our shoes off, put them in like a plastic, your normal shopping bag, like from a Walmart, and drive back in our socks. And, we get home late, dry, dry off, get to bed, and all that. And the next day, we gotta go tote all the shit, clean up. Some of the people who were gonna help us clean, they left early, so that was less sets of hands. And, you know, I can remember my daughter's tired and cold, ready to go. It's like 11 at night. And we're walking in the cold, wet rain. And I sat there and I'm like, we could be dry and done. Like it's 11 something. We would have been done cleaning up, sitting on the couch in front of the fireplace as it's raining and cold out, watching TV, drinking hot cocoa. Instead, we're soaked, walking in the rain, in the mud, trying to collect everyone so we can just get home. It was a lesson in fucking misery, is what it was. It was like being in the military. It reminded me, like standing watch on a base and having to walk around in the cold fucking wet rain. No bueno. And that was the thing. We didn't even want to go. Like, my wife and I would have been completely happy with staying at home, cleaning, having been done. And then yesterday, instead of having to spend all the day fucking cleaning and all that, we could have just went and dropped off the stuff, visited instead of doing a bunch of fucking work and getting home later. And, which is why I didn't record. I mean, it just pushed everything. One, giving in. One, failing to adhere to your standard of no. It's a complete fucking sentence. Do you want to do this? No. Why not? No. I said no. No means fucking no. Okay? And like for a person like me, what it does is it pisses me off at myself. Like, you know what? And then it's going to make me a dick. Then people who approach me, they're going to be like, that guy's a fucking asshole. He's a dick. No, it's because you don't fucking get when I say no. No means fucking no. Like, it's a complete sentence. You don't have to ask me anymore. You don't have to suggest anymore. You don't have to try to sell it to me anymore. You don't have to tell me why it's better than what I have or the competitor or whatever. Whoever you are, when you approach me, if I fucking tell you no, it's no. Okay? Don't fucking try to talk me into it. And all this did was cement the fact that trust yourself. I trust me. When I say, I know why. And you know what? A fucking car crash. Now that's got to be fixed. That's going to cost money. My brand new pair of fucking shoes that are fucking trashed. All of it. Like, those are the reasons. I didn't bring extra clothes because I wasn't going to go. I didn't bring an extra set of shoes because I wasn't going to go. Then I get pissed at me for allowing you to fucking. But that goes back to my, like, you know, I still should have said no and just stayed. But I was trying to make my wife happy. I didn't want to make her go alone. And she wouldn't have fit in the car. I would have had to drive her anyway. So, part of it's me saying yes to my wife. But, part of that dynamic is her also trusting me when I say no. It fucking means no. And if I'm the leader of this crew here, this husband and wife operation, there's a reason. And we could have avoided all that by just fucking adhering to my desire and decision of no. You know, I mean, if half of the arguments we get into are because as a husband and wife, you're like, no, and they still want to, or they're going to do their own fucking thing anyway. It's like, you know what? I should have let her, if she wanted to go, let her find her own fucking way. And if she wanted to be cold, wet, and miserable, Let her be cold, wet, and miserable. I don't have to fucking join her. Or you can just trust me and see by experience that my choice would have been the superior choice and saved us a lot of fucking headache. You know, you have to be able to look at third and fourth order consequences, how it's going to fuck you over down the road by not trusting yourself, trusting yourself and sticking to your plan. Especially if you're aware and intuitive like I am. It's like, no. Especially like listening to people who aren't where you want to be. Like, don't be listening to other dumb fucks. If they're not where you want to be, don't have the life you want, are not aligned, don't get what you're trying to do, like, why the fuck are you even listening to them or care what they think or understand? You know, somebody like to me, it's like I have an idea, I have a vision of what I want my life to stand for and be about. And a lot of people aren't going to see it, aren't going to get it, but that doesn't matter. I trust me. And my whole life has been about, yes, learning to trust me and learning to say, hey, other people, they just can't see what you see. They're not going to understand. So, of course, they're going to fucking try to derail you. They can't see what you see. They're not trying to go where you want to go. And where I want to go, where I want to get to, sometimes that requires me to say no to certain things. But what did I learn from this? This is a lesson in trust, trusting myself, and next time, standing firm. Just being like, no, 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 no. I don't care. No. Why not? No. What didn't you understand? No. I don't know if it was Dream a Little Dream. I think it was like, what part didn't you understand? When I say what don't you understand? Right? So the power of no. Use it. Trust yourself, especially if you're somebody with a vision, a goal, a dream, and you know, and you're on track. Don't let other people fucking derail you from it. Don't let other people talk you out of it. Don't, when you know what needs to happen, do not let other people make you feel bad about staying in on a Friday or Saturday night and doing what you need to get done. Because only you know what you need to get done to move the needle to live the life you want to live. Okay? Going along with everybody else, all it's going to do is get you fucking cold, wet, miserable like everybody else. Okay? So if you want to be like everybody else, fucking have at it. Um, Not for me. I want to be something different. I want to be something more. I want more. I want to contribute more. And that requires more. Requires more discipline. Requires more saying no. Requires me to be doing things that other people aren't doing. Okay? Requires me to do things while other people are off doing other bullshit. I got to be doing shit that matters to me, okay? So, depending on who you are in my circle, where you are in my circle, maybe it applies to you, maybe it doesn't. And if you're just a listener, take this information and apply it. Trust yourself. When you know what you need to get done, don't fucking let anybody talk you out of it. Stand fast. Let your no fucking mean something. No means no. It's a complete sentence. You don't need to explain yourself. Okay? The power of no. All right. I got a busy day ahead, so wish I could stay and talk more, but I got things to do. And until then, go out and be the person that you want to meet. Peace.